Hi everyone, this is the first lesson in a series for beginners of German. It will be useful for year 7s just starting out with German, also maybe year 8 beginners, or just anyone who'd like to start learning German. So our targets for today are to learn the pronunciation of 10 key sounds in German, so a kind of phonics-based lesson, to learn how to say the numbers 1 to 10 in German, and also to apply those sounds that we've learned to the pronunciation of the numbers, and to be able to work out the pronunciation of 10 unseen words using the skills that you've learned previously in the lesson. So let's get on with the lesson. First of all, we are going to talk about greetings. The first thing you are going to find happening when you enter your German lessons for the first time is that you are going to probably be greeted by your teacher, and you will need to know how to greet them back. So, first thing you might hear or have to say is Guten Morgen or Guten Tag. This depends on the time of day. So if it's the morning, you would say Guten Morgen, and if it was the afternoon, you would say Guten Tag. You can also say simply Hallo. The next question that your teacher might ask you, or you might like to ask each other, is Wie geht's? Look at the pronunciation here. I've underlined wie because, as you can hear, we don't say we say wie. So W in German sounds like a V sound. The combination of letters I and E sound like an E sound. I always say a tip for remembering this is to pronounce the second letter of the combination. So if you see I-E, pronounce the E. So wie. And you would answer this by saying gut, danke, und dir? I'm well, thank you. And you? Or you could also reply by saying nicht so gut, not so good. I've underlined the CH, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, and that's because there are different pronunciations of CH depending on which word you are saying at the time. And then we are going to say goodbye, so we would say Auf Wiedersehen. Do you remember this sound that we said before? So it was up here as well. So the W is a V sound, and then the IE, pronounce the E. So Wiedersehen. This one, AU, makes a kind of ow sound, ow, as if you've hurt yourself. Auf Wiedersehen. Or we can simply say Tschüss, which kind of means bye. It's a little less formal than Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. I'll just go through that again for you. So, Guten Morgen or Guten Tag. Hallo, wie geht's? Gut, danke. Und dir? Nicht so gut. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. You could pause the video now and practice that in your head or out loud, or maybe with a friend if you are learning together. And then we'll move on to the next slide. So when we ask someone, wie geht's, you might want to answer in a different way to the previous slide. So the top one here is sehr gut. So if you remember on the previous slide, we just said we were well, we said gut. This one, if you're really well, sehr gut, very well. Or of course we can say gut. If we're not really, really bad, we could say nicht schlecht. We will talk about the pronunciation of that before. It's quite difficult to get your mouth around. Nicht schlecht. And if we're really, really sad, we can say nicht so gut, not good. So we've got I'm very well, I'm well, not bad, and not so good. Again, pause and have a practice of the pronunciations. I'll just run through them again for you. So, wie geht's? Sehr gut. Gut. Nicht schlecht. Nicht so gut. Okay, moving on to the numbers or die Zahlen. Notice how I said the Z there. Die Zahlen. So let's look at the numbers. First of all, we start with eins. Now, if you remember previously, we had wie, which was spelled I-E. This one is spelled E-I. So if you remember the little tip I gave you was to pronounce the second of the combination. So this time we are pronouncing I. So eins. The number 2 is zwei. There's that sound again. E-I. We're pronouncing the I. So zwei. If you remember from up here, The Z sounds like S, and the W sounds like F. So we've got lots of sounds to remember in this one. We've got I, zwei. Put it together, zwei. Next one, drei. Again, we've got that EI sound. And just listen to the R. We're not saying dry like we would in English. We're saying drei. You kind of feel it in your throat when you say it. We are back to the old sound again, I-E. So pronounce the second one. It would be E. So vier. V sounds a bit like an F. Vier. Or the word fear in English. If you're scared of something, you have the fear. Fünf. The key sound here is the U with this is what's called an umlaut. Umlaut, it's an accent in German, and we'll just spell it here for you. So U-M-L-A-U-T. And if you notice, even the name of it has got that ow sound in that we talked about before. A-U. So this is not like you would say in English. It's not fun. I like to say that you can sort of almost hardly hear it. So when I say fünf, it's almost like I'm going to the F, then the N, then the F. Fünf. It's more of a than a U. Fünf. Sechs. It's pretty straightforward. Sieben. So I-E again. Sieben. Acht. This is a funny sound. It sounds a bit like you've got a cold or a cough or you're clearing your throat. Acht. Another interesting letter combination is EU, which sounds a bit like oi. Imagine you're saying to someone, oi you. Neun. Oi. Neun. Now last one, again a Z, so TS. Zehn. Let's go through them again. Eins. Zwei. Drei. Vier. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Maybe pause here and have a little practice. So we've got a little pronunciation guide just from the numbers just to remind you of them all. So what I've done here is I've put the German letter combination, how we might think of it in English. So we've got the EI combination, we'd say I, when I said say the second one, I. And then an example word, eins, number 1. And then it sounds a bit like, this is not perfect, the end bit, but it's close. Eins, just to help you pronounce it. So AZ, if you remember, was a, so zwei. Remember this one, we've got to put the V sound in as well. We will talk about that a little bit later. So, I, zwei, zwei. Again, you've got the EI sound, so we've got to put these together as well. So we said the R was a little bit of a kind of throaty sound. So not dry, but drei. And again, put together with the EI sound. D from the throat. I, drei, drei. We've mentioned this before. Our W in German makes a V sound. So, zwei, remembering that as well. I, zwei, zwei. Our V in German makes a kind of F sound in English. So, vier, vier. And I wrote the English word fear there to help you. And again, you've got that IE as well. So we pronounce the second one. IE again makes an E sound. So vier again and vier. And then the U was almost like it's not there. I said so almost F, N, F. And I've written it here like fünf, fünf. It's a kind of fünf. Your CH here, you've got 2 different CHs. So this one was in the number 8. It's like you've got a sore throat or you're clearing your throat, you've got a cold. 8. We said EU makes an oi sound. So it's neun, oi, neun. And then we did describe before how we've got two CH sounds. So I've put a different word here. This is not a number. This is nicht. This is not. We saw it in nicht so gut when we were answering not very well. So this one, it's sort of like a sh, but not really. And the best way I can describe to say it is say sh, but smile. So do a smiley face when you're doing it. So if I say that without a smiley face, it sounds like nicht. But if I put a big smile on my face as I say it, I say nicht, nicht. So try that. Pause there and have a try. Okay, this is the last part of this lesson. I've got some mystery words, some brand new words, and you need to try and work out how they are said by using the previous notes you've taken from the previous slide. So pause now, have a go, try speaking them out loud. Rewind back if you need a little bit more input on those, and then we'll see how you've done. Okay, so we're back again for the answers. Interestingly, the word pronunciation, which I can't pronounce, which is a bit odd, pronunciation is Aussprache. So we've got the Au sound and the Ch sound in there as well, Aussprache. Okay, so how did we do on this? So the first one, we had EI, so we should have said by. Remember we said say the second of the combination, by. This one here, number 2, or number 2, we should say, was zelt, the TS sound, zelt. Number 3 was Rat, so a R from the throat sound, Rat. Number 4, was, a V sound. Number 5, F, von, a F sound. Number 6 is the opposite to this one. So this one was EI, by. This one is IE, so E, niece. We've got that almost not there sort of U sound, not U, but U. Mutter, Mutter. Das ist Nummer 7. Interestingly, Nummer 8 is pronounced Macht. So Nummer 8, Macht. And number 9 is pronounced heulen. So they've both got an oi sound in there. Oi, oi. 9, heulen. And the last one, this is the other type of CH. So number 8 was the ch, Macht. Number 10 is Licht. And remember, the best way to do this one is to say it with a big smile. Licht. So I hope that was helpful to you. In this lesson, you've learned some greetings, some numbers, and some pronunciation. And I'll look forward to talking to you again for lesson 2 of the series. So bye for now, or auf Wiedersehen, or tschüss.